From former Reagan economic advisor Art Laffer. Art, imagine for a moment if Donald Trump or one of his people exaggerated a jobs estimate by 700%. What do you think the reaction would be?
Well, I'm not sure, but I want to go back to Blake's comments, if I may can with you for a second, David. If I were head of a chip company, I would name that chip company Buffalo. What do you think, Buffalo
God.
Chips? Never mind.
Art Laffer.
Buttigieg is not an economist. Buttigieg is just trying to get the biggest number he can, and that's very understandable. All administration people do it, Republican, Democrats.
Art, hold on. A 700% exaggeration? I don't think all administrations have gone that far.
You were talking about total. Well, you were talking about total new jobs versus the additional total new jobs.
Know.
And, you got to forgive him. I mean, he's just a mayor. Doing stuff. I mean, I don't hold him for that. I really do hold people for their policies. That I do hold them for. I do hold them for their policies, but not for. Excuse me. Sorry. I do hold them for their policies, not for their mistakes. And
but at the same time, Reagan had that one mistake? He's just a mayor. He's got a pretty good portfolio to be just a mayor's experience, does he not? I mean, he's involved in this multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure plan.
Well, didn't he just admit his mistake with Chris right after he said it?
Yeah.
I think he did, but not entirely. But do you remember when Reagan made the mistake about the seasonally adjusted employment number was down, but the unadjusted was up, and then he had the one calling the baseball player the wrong name with a congressman mixing him up, falling asleep with the Pope. I can remember Reagan recounting all of his mistakes.
The point here is that this is a man, President Biden, who has a history of exaggerating jobs figures. Back in 2010, there was something called the Recovery Summer, where he claimed that all these new green jobs that the Biden or that the Obama-Biden administration was creating would have created 500,000 new jobs every month in Recovery Summer. We ended up with a jobs deficit. We lost jobs that summer. I mean, all of these promises, these job promises, just don't deliver when they come directly from the government, do they?
And under Obama, they had the growth rate numbers, and every quarter, every year, they were revised down. They had started off with 4.5%, and then they dropped down to 2%, 2.1%, every single year for 8 years running. I mean, the ones I really have a problem with are when they come from economists who should know better. I mean, those economists that tell you that the tax bill did not lead to an increase in the growth of tax revenues to the federal government, an increase in the growth of tax revenues to the government, are just misleading you. I mean, that tax bill paid for itself on the tax cut, period. It did. They all go poof, poof, poof. It's a huge loss. And now they're going to reverse it, David. Now they're going to reverse it and claim a huge revenue in savings from reversing it, which is just malarkey. It's just not true. Those people I criticize very, very definitely because they continue and continue and continue and never show you the actual numbers. Anyone wants those actual numbers, they can just call you and send it on to me, and I'll show those numbers.
I know you will.
That is deliberate misleading.
Yeah,
but that's deliberate misleading, and it leads to bad policy.
Let me move on to something that the administration might have better luck with, and that's growth, because this whole world economy is about to explode with growth if we're successful with the vaccines. Economists surveyed by the Wall Street Journal are predicting the economy could be about to see its best growth since the mid-1980s. Now, of course, Art, you were there. You were right in the center of the Reagan administration, and in that year, 1983, and then actually 1984, the economy grew over 7%. Can we do it again?
Well, we can, yes, but not for the same reasons. What Reagan did was cause actual growth in the levels of GDP to come back up. What's happening here, it's a recovery from a huge body slam by COVID-19 that caused us to drop. The question is, will we get back up to where we would have been had there never been COVID-19? That's what should be looked at, not the growth rate. And the growth rate here is because of something totally external to the economy. And coming back is not an economic policy success. It's getting rid of the COVID-19. That's wonderful. And if you look at the getting rid of COVID-19, you can't help but give the credit to Donald Trump for warp speed and getting all those vaccines out there. That's who deserves the credit for coming back up as far as we will. That's for me. Now, these guys, their policies, my view is their policies will not lead to more rapid growth once we've caught back up. I think they're going to slow the growth down just the way it was done under Obama, perhaps even more because their spending is on steroids
so
compared to Obama's.
How long before the sugar high of coming out of the lockdowns, how long before that begins to fade and the negative effects of the tax cuts kick in, or the tax increases, forgive me?
Well, it depends on how much they're willing to spend on all these new programs. They could extend this sugar high for quite a while. And you know, it's not really productive. It's really not good production. It's just catching back up. But that, I mean, it is a sugar high, and it just makes no sense whatsoever to continue this because at some stage it's going to fall back down. And that they can do it for quite a while. In fact, they did it for quite a while, over a number of years. But it's really very detrimental to the long-term progress of the U.S.
Before you go, I just want to say, 1983, 4.6% GDP. 84, 7.2% GDP growth. 85, 4.2%. 86, 3.5, 3.5. And finally, 1988, 4.2% growth. That was a hell of a series of GDPs
Didn't you love us back
there.
then?
Yeah, it was
Didn't
wild.
you love us back then? And by the way, you started it. Now, I'm going to criticize you for 1 second. You started it for the year 1982 compared to the year 83. Yeah. It should be from the fourth quarter to the fourth quarter. If you did
that's
that
when the
one,
tax cuts
you'd get it
in.
7+%.
I got you.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
first day of January, 1983.
We leave with a picture of you with the Gipper himself. There's Ronald Reagan and Art Laffer back at the time. Good to see you, Art. Thank you very much.
Gracious.
Appreciate it.
Lovely. Thank you, David.